Hey guys, and welcome to Monday night's edition of The Brown Side of Disney. I'm hoping that you guys can hear me. I actually have my earbuds in, and I am not certain that you can hear me. So I'm going to wait a few minutes, and hopefully, once you guys log in, you can tell me if you can hear me. Deal? Deal. Maybe I should just take them out, and we go from there. I don't know. I'm trying to wait for Tanae. I'm not sure what she's doing. So let's see what happens. But it is Monday. It is 9 p.m. And I told you if I'm able to be here, I will be here. Hope that you guys like my new ears. They are actually the pattern of Epcot. If you guys don't know, Epcot did an entire new rebranding, and this is kind of part of the big globe and the way you see a lot of their logos printed, and you see Epcot written in a different way than it was written before. But I don't want to hold you guys up. What I think I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take my earbuds out and hope that you guys can hear me. Deal, deal. So in the event that you cannot hear me and I'm talking to myself, please, by all means, let me know because it's fun talking to yourself. Deal? All right. So as you guys know, as I stated last week, I spent 3 days at Disney World really getting a sneak peek at Epcot International Food and Wine Festival. If you've never been, I promise you, you're missing out on a treat. So this was actually the 24th year, and they expanded it this year to 87 days. So that means that you have even more days to be able to enjoy Epcot and the Wine and Food Festival and all that it has to offer. So what we were able to do, and I'm kind of going to give you a rundown kind of like what my itinerary was. Of course, we arrived on the first day, we checked in, we met up with the Disney representatives, and we were able to attend an event called the Party for the Senses. When I tell you that this soiree was clearly more than I ever expected, I did go online to kind of see what it was because it was something that I'd never heard of. And as I said before, I have attended food and wine prior to, but literally all I did was go around to the different stops and partake in the food and everything that was available. Well, Party for the Senses is an event. It generally happens that Saturday, and it's really part of getting the party started. So it is an opportunity to sample food from celebrity chefs, guest chefs, and some of the main chefs at Disney World. And what happened is each of them make a dish that is kind of special to them that they love and they want to share. So we were able to walk around and really partake in all of it. We were able to arrive early, kind of part of the VIP experience, and really get to talk to some of the chefs before they kind of dove in and were really working. So that really added to it because we got to find out, why they made this dish. If they were a Disney chef, which actual restaurants they worked at, what were their favorite things to do, and really to just kind of see and learn about some of what the prep work was. So also at this event, there was a wine pairing. So at the end of each table, there was wine. Some of them had beer, and it was basically what they chose to pair with the actual meal. Of course, you got small plates, very similar to what you get, outside at Food and Wine. But with this one, you could go up and get more and more and more and more. There was really no limitations. There was lots of desserts. There was chocolate. Of course, they had Twinings tea, because if you don't know, that is the official tea of Disney. But it was just great. It was live entertainment. They actually had an all-female band, and they actually played their violin, and they danced. And then, the people, we all kind of danced around a little bit. But we actually got to sit and really kind of partake in all of it. So as a group, we were able to kind of talk about what we knew about food and wine collectively together. And then what we did while we were in there was we were able to ask the Disney representatives some information. And ironically enough, if you looked around at the audience, there were not a lot of minorities. Now, what I asked is this an event that is freely advertised? Is there kind of a reason that people don't know? And like I said, I will admit I had no idea that this event existed. Now, full disclosure, I've been to Disney Food and Wine. I've gone on the website and I've looked at, okay, let me see what's happening. But I guess I never dove deep enough to really see what else happened. I knew they had book signings and that there were bottle signings that happened in the marketplace. But what I did not know was about you could schedule to attend seminars with some of the chefs where they actually helped you prepare a meal, or they talked about some type of pairing that they did. So we did a dessert pairing with Joe Murray, and we actually paired that with a wine, and the wine was from South Africa. It was very interesting to learn about the South African wine, kind of its roots, and what really brought it to Disney World. And then with that, we had, let me tell you guys exactly what it's called, so I'm not making anything up here. So we had the pleasure, and I do mean pleasure, of making appetizers with Jennifer Hill Booker. So Jennifer Hill Booker is a celebrity chef. Apparently she's been to Party for the Senses and has participated in Disney's Food and Wine on a few other occasions. But she created something. It was called Make It, Take It, Create It. And so it was really fun because what happened is we all went in, we sat at a table, and in front of you, there were spices and all these different ingredients that you needed to make whatever it is that she was going to talk to us about. So on the blog coming up this week, you will get to see more information kind of about what we made and how we did it. And you'll get to see the pictures so you can kind of see what I'm talking about in terms of the layout. But what was great is she literally walked us through making an appetizer. So you guys know the holidays are coming and we always want to add a little flair. So it was great to do that. So we made something called strawberry and bacon finger sandwiches. You guys heard me. Bacon. If you've been following me, you know bacon is my thing. So I was so excited about it. And literally what made this even better is all the prep work was done. Basically, we had to put it together and we were able to kind of add our own flair to it. So now in this particular one, it had, I'm gonna give you the ingredients. It had mayonnaise, sour cream, cream cheese. Of course, we had bacon. There was onion. There was strawberries, cucumbers, ground pepper. And I don't like a lot of mayonnaise, so I didn't put a lot of mayonnaise in mine. There were other people who didn't like cream cheese, so they didn't put a lot of cream cheese in theirs. So the mixture was great. And then what she advised us to do is, as we're going along, to sample and taste it. The other thing we made was something called a seafood stuffed Kamado tomato. When I tell you guys, that was delicious. Now, I'm not a big seafood fan. I don't do a lot of shrimp and crab meat, but she allowed me to substitute, I believe it was a white fish, swordfish, I believe it was. And the flavors together, oh my God, it was so good. So this is something that I can't make. I'm looking forward to making for my family this holiday season. I think it was quick, it was easy. And then she helped us make a spice. And so it was actually a spice that we made with a mixture of herbs, and we made enough that we were able to bring this home. So I'm going to be using it in some meals coming up, and I'll make certain that I let you guys see a picture of it when I make it. But that was a part of it as well. And this is something that sells out. So my understanding is when they announce the days for Disney Food and Wine, and you know it's an event that you want to attend, and you'd like to try to pop in and attend some of these seminars and book signings and things of that nature, you've got to sign up. Because while we were there, like literally all the events that we were lucky to be able to get into were sold out. So that was the Mix It, Make It Celebrated. We attended Party for the Census, which, as I stated before, was literally like a VIP experience. Again, apparently there are different price levels to it, but it was totally a VIP experience, and it was well worth the money. And I'm telling you, if your thought is, I want to go to Disney Food and Wine, but I don't want to spend all my money going from station to station to station, because, you know, if you don't know, let me say that, let me not assume that you know. Basically what happens is with your park admissions, you can go around to the different booths, and each booth has a meal that represents whatever country or whatever it is that booth represents at that time. And so you buy a meal. It's a small meal. It is not a large portion. I'm trying to see if I have something here where I can show you how big the meal is. It may be about that big. Like, just assume it's about that big. It's literally on a dessert size plate. And what happens is, while it's on a dessert size plate, you don't always get a lot. For me, I think I had a jerk chicken probably 3 times. And then they had some newbies that they did this year that they did not have previously. We had something called a Moscato Flight. It was delicious. But of course, that's an added fee. So if you don't want to have to be concerned about all those added fees and, you're budget conscious, attending the party for the census is not a bad idea, because what you can do is, I want to say the event is from 6 to 9. You go in for 3 hours and it's literally all you can eat and drink. You can't beat that for 3 hours. Now, I do want to say the ticket, I believe, is like $250, $300. But if you know that you're going to go and really partake in all of it, it is well worth it. The food is phenomenal. And a lot of it is not the same food that you'll get outside at the actual booth. So it's going to be different food, but it gives you a taste and a sense for what actually happens. And then, like I said, there's the entertainment, and then it's just the ambiance of it all. There's a souvenir wine glass that you keep to take with you. So that part was great. And it's an event that I'm telling you next year, I'm actually going to look forward to going to. And I do know that if it's my intentions to go, that I have to get on the list early and register so that I can get a ticket, because like I said, these events sell out. The other thing that we did while we were there is we got to experience Epcot Forever. So if you don't know what Epcot Forever is, that is their nighttime spectacular show. I'm telling you, you guys know, if you've been to Disney, that their fireworks and their evening show is totally over the top. Well, this time it was beyond over the top. It's not just fireworks, it's lasers, it's lights, and it's so much happening. And it's kind of like a blast from the past, which I kind of enjoyed. So you, of course, you sit out, it's in the main area, you watch, you enjoy it, everyone is there. And I don't know if it's just me, but I always feel like there's a lot more space at Epcot and people aren't fighting to try to get in to be able to see, because of where it is over the lagoon. Everyone can see it. So there are people standing on kind of all sides of it, kind of surrounding it so that they can kind of get a good view of it. So we enjoyed that as well. Let me think, what else am I missing? Oh, while we were there, we got to experience soaring. So if you don't know what soaring is literally kind of a VR experience, one of the VR experiences that Disney has. And as a part of this VR experience, what happens is, it appears that you're flying over all of these different islands and going to lands. And if you really pay attention, a lot of it are the places that Disney Adventures by Disney goes. So I thought that was cool, because I feel like now, if you had never thought about wanting to go, now a lot of people are probably like, hey, I want to go and I want to check that out. So soaring at Epcot is one of their great rides that you can go in and check it out. And for me, it tied into, the whole food and wine thing, because with Epcot, it's all about the culture, and you go to the booths and you learn different things. And what I also love about attending this event is, if you're really into the culture and the history behind, some of the food and some of these countries that maybe you just won't have opportunity to get to, you can ask the people that work there, because a lot of times they are from these particular areas. And so they can tell you about the area, why you should attend, and all of that. So it was really great. And then, of course, the next night we ended our night with Eat to the Beat concert series. So this concert series is a part of Food and Wine, and you can actually buy a bundle where it includes your food, like a portion of your food, and it gives you reserved seating at these concerts. So now they have different kind of performers there. So depending on who it is and who you like, it might be to your advantage to get a reserved seat, because it does get crowded. So while we were there, we were able to see Southern Avenue, which is a pretty cool band that's based in Memphis. They had great stage presence. And then the second day we saw Kenny G. Yeah, guys, he was great. He performed some really great jazz numbers. And I realized that I don't remember the last time I'd seen Kenny G. And when I tell you, he has great hair. Like, I was looking at it trying to figure out, like, is this your hair? He had really great hair. So a lot more details will be coming out on the blog for that. But I just wanted to kind of give you guys an overview of kind of what my trip involved. So if you guys have questions, of course, post them below and I will answer them as we go through. Someone had messaged me to see about the Skyliner, because you guys know during our last chat, we talked about how there was a big snafu and the Skyliner was down. And apparently it was down for almost 3 hours. And so people, of course, got some perks for being stuck. But, I can see how people were a little scared or annoyed or whatever you want to have it for kind of floating in the air for 3 hours, really uncertain. So the first day we were there, it was not running. So the last night we were there, it was actually running. And we decided, you know what? Let's take a chance and let's do it. And when I tell you, if you go to Disney and it is running, take advantage of it. It is so quick. So the wait, like when we first walked up, we saw the line and we were like, yeah, no, not going to happen. But the guy was like, no, get in line, and moves really fast. And it did. I feel like within 10 minutes we were riding. And actually what we did is we rode from Epcot all the way to Hollywood Studios. And to just be able to look out over all the stuff while it's happening is so beautiful. And I can only imagine what it looks like during the day, because you can really take in the park and everything surrounding it. And, Disney kind of has expanded their highway, so they have even more of it. And so I can only imagine like what it looks like at Christmas time, as they're transitioning over pretty soon for all their holiday stuff. And in addition, the fireworks. So imagine like being in the sky when the fireworks are happening, and you can kind of see them from like different angles because of where it is. You get to see the Hollywood Studios ones, you can see Epcot. So that was great as well. A few people were afraid, but it wasn't that afraid. It wasn't good. So look, we have someone, Darlene is saying she loves it. She wrote it there, broke down, and it started working again. I know, right? Like, that's what I said. At first, people were like, I don't know, we shouldn't ride it. We shouldn't ride it. And I was like, why not? Like, we know we're going to be okay. Let's try it out. And I mean, there were so many people that we'd already seen that had gotten to the end. And we're like, let's just do it. It was beautiful. Like, I could do that all day. Like, I don't know. Is that crazy that I would just want to ride? It reminded me of a ski lift. I didn't feel like it went too fast. So for people who are a little nervous and afraid, I felt like it was good. And I feel like it's something that people should do. Like, if you go to Disney, partake in it. Don't let a little snafu get you afraid. Okay. But then the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is Disney Dreamers. So if you don't know what Disney Dreamers is, one thing you can do, of course, other than going to the website and looking up Disney Dreamers Academy, is you can hashtag pretty much on anything, hashtag B100. And so that was kind of the hashtag and the theme surrounding it for the past few years. And so basically what it is each spring, they bring in 100 exceptional young people to Disney Dreamers Academy. It's 4 days of nothing but uplift. So can you imagine having a teenager ages? So let me go back. So first, the application is still open. You have until October 31st to apply. And while we were just at the parks, they wanted us to encourage you all to apply. So for anyone who has a teenager that is in high school, ages 13 to 19, you should apply. Even if you don't get in, it's an experience that your child will help with filling out college applications and so many applications they're going to fill out in the future. But it also kind of gets you in the loop. They'll see that you want to come. Maybe you don't get in this year. Maybe you apply again next year and you see, kind of who got in and what they said and all of that. And it might encourage you to do it. But in a nutshell, it really talks about, it talks about you'll be energized by mentors. If you guys don't know about it, Steve Harvey is a big proponent of this. Like, this is one of his favorite events because you guys know he loves encouraging young people. It gives you the opportunity to expand your horizons. There are career workshops where they talk to you about what is your dream. And I don't feel like we do enough of this with our young people in high school. So I know we don't, because I'm dealing with this right now. I have a son, he's in the 11th grade, and we're really trying to help him identify what he wants to do. What are your lifelong goals? And I've realized it's a vague question, which involves smaller chunks. And I feel like in the schools, they're not helping these kids narrow down to these smaller chunks. So I think it's great that in this event, they will do career workshops and they'll get to talk to their mentors kind of about fine-tuning these dreams. They develop skills, interviewing, networking. You guys know that the world now is a lot about who you know and less about what you know. So therefore, we want to make sure that our children are set up and able to communicate and network in this world. And so they do a lot of public speaking. There are a lot of videos that you can actually see, and I'll find some and I'll post them below so you guys can see. There's one video that always makes me cry. It's about a young gentleman who, when he arrived there, he was very quiet. He talks about how he had been bullied and, just really, really low self-esteem, not a lot of self-worth. By the end of the program, he was like leading things. The kids were cheering him on. And you could see just how much being there over those 4 days had totally awakened him. And I love just hearing about the story and kind of the things that he's gone on to do now and what he's doing. A few years ago, Disney came to Philadelphia area and they hosted a few of us, and they had a previous student attend the luncheon and just talked about what that experience meant to him and what he's doing for it. So if you're looking to encourage a teen, please have them sign up. What is the other thing? So look, this is what I love. 6 signs that you might be a dreamer. Okay, here we go. Intellectual curiosity, a love for learning and creativity, compassion, caring for those around you, courage, facing obstacles with poise and maturity, a positive outlook and generous spirit, optimism about the future. Do you guys know a dreamer? If you do, please encourage them to apply. The website is DisneyDreamersAcademy.com. You have until October 31st to get it in. Don't delay. Don't think about it. Just get it done. Get it done. Then you can move on to the next thing. And if it doesn't work out this year, don't let that discourage you. Apply again. Okay. All right. So I do have a post on my blog where I spoke about Disney Dreamers Academy, and I'm going to refresh it with some new information that I learned while I was in Orlando. So I'll make certain that I post that as well so that you guys can get that information, because I think it's important. And, with this, I don't even think, wow, you probably have a little less than a week to get your application in. So I want to encourage as many people as I can. Like I said, they do only take 100, but you never know. You might be that 99th application that they're waiting for to spark them. So don't forget to apply. And like I said, if you know a teenager, encourage them to apply. I'm going to be doing that all this week on Twitter, really sharing out the link and encouraging just parents to encourage their teens to dream. I mean, we want our kids to dream, and I feel like so much is happening in the world that this is one positive thing that they need. Okay, now we all know tomorrow, which is Tuesday, is the release of DVD, Blu-ray, and a digital download for The Lion King. You guys know that The Lion King holds a special place in my heart. Earlier this year, or was that last year? I don't even know when that was. My God, no, earlier this summer, I was there for the premiere, and it was a life-changing experience. I see why people like die to get to these red carpet events. It was so much fun, hobnobbing it with all of the stars. And, people were just walking around like average Joe folks. And luckily I did not get starstruck, but I had a few moments. So I'm looking forward to the digital download so that I can share it with my family and we can kind of watch it together as a group, because I've seen it and everyone in my house has not. I know that's so bad. I know. And then, of course, with this new release, there's going to come more merchandise. So I talked about how you can get some of the merchandise. There's going to be a lot more coming out. And with Christmas coming, they're going to make sure that there is an abundance of things that you can get to bring home this experience with your kids. But lucky you, for those of you who are watching, I'm going to be giving away 5 digital downloads. So if you're interested in winning a digital download, check out the blog tomorrow. There will be some information. The blog is lifeinpumps.com. There'll be some information on how you can enter and actually win. I was doing another giveaway with the Toy Story 4 downloads, and I've selected the 5 winners, and I've notified them, and they will be getting their digital download codes by email tonight. So hopefully they've responded and I have the correct email address. So the other thing I want to talk about is Blackish. You guys know how I am about all this ish on a Tuesday night. Loving it. So let's talk about Blackish. So I don't know if you caught last week's episode. Last week, Jack, who is the twin brother, he is trying to play basketball. And, basketball is an interesting sport. It is very competitive, which is not a bad thing. But sometimes it comes with a lot of stereotypes. And so one of those stereotypes is that in order to really be successful at basketball, you have to be very tall. I don't think Allen Iverson is very tall, but I guess he's tall. So let's call it that. But Jack is not tall, and we know that. And so as a result, he got cut from the team. And so his family is trying to find ways to make him feel better. In a nutshell, he's like, you can't make me feel better because there's nothing you can do to make me taller. And so I feel like the conversation that they had with him, really trying to help him value his self-worth, and not place it in whether or not he qualifies to play on a sporting event. It was really great, because I'm certain if you are a parent at some point in your life, if your child wants to play a sport, this is a lesson that's going to humble you as well. I know for me, there have been times that my kids have tried out for sporting teams and didn't make it. And internally, I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen? They're going to be so whatever. But I feel like, we've built up their skin a little thick, where they're like, it's all good. I'll try it again. Whereas, as a parent, you're brokenhearted because you want your kid to get whatever they want. But sometimes they do need to hear a no and learn and grow from these experiences. So throughout the show, you see the mom and dad, they're really talking to him. And at one point they talked about trying to give him some vitamins or some medicine that would help him grow. We know that doesn't work, right, people? But, as it went on, the lessons were learned, and he realized that maybe this isn't the sport for me. And it didn't deter him from playing, but he just knew that he might not be able to play in the capacity that he wants to play, but it shouldn't stop him from playing recreationally. So I love that. And to me, it ties back into the whole Disney Dreamers Academy. We want our kids to dream and dream big, but we also want them to be realistic in this dream. If it's not attainable, be okay with it. That doesn't mean the door is closed. It just means right now, that is not the dream for you. So maybe you need to hone in and focus on what is and regroup and come back. So I feel like in the end, Jack was happy. We'll see. But guys, it is. Look at that. So we have some people who are coming in because they were late and stuck in traffic. It's all good. I understand. It happens. But I'll just give you a rundown on kind of what we talked about, because you basically missed everything. I talked about my experience at Epcot's Food and Wine. Had an amazing time. Hope that more people will attend. We talked about Disney Dreamers Academy. I'm asking everybody to share the information about Disney Dreamers Academy with any teen they know that's in high school between the ages of 13 and 19, because we want to encourage all children to dream big and do it well. And I feel like Dreamers Academy is a great place to start and get the conversation going. I also mentioned the Skyliner. Because we actually got to ride it and experience it all. And she's telling me that my ears are on backwards. They are on backwards. I knew they were on backwards. I was really trying to let you guys see let you see the new Epcot piece without necessarily the bow flashing in the middle of it. But I like it this way. Don't harass me. Leave me alone. You're late. You don't get to harass me when you're late. Just kidding, but I'm glad you're here. She said hers are always on backwards. That's so funny. That's so funny. So yeah, so we talked about that, and people have until October 31st to apply. We talked about Lion King release is coming. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited about it. Tomorrow is the day. And I mentioned if you want to win a digital download, details will be available on the blog tomorrow at Life and Pumps to let you know how to actually get one. I've already awarded the ones from Toy Story 4. I had some people who made some crafts who tagged me, and I got to see them. It was pretty cool. I'm all about the DIY. So I think it was pretty cool that they actually did that. And then the last thing we talked about was that, I guess. Yeah, I think that was it in a nutshell. So if you head to the blog, I do kind of have some questions that I've answered in reference to Food and Wine. So if you guys have further questions that I did not answer, either here or on the blog, feel free to drop me a message and I will answer them for you soon. But it is 9:30 and you guys know I am all about being on time. Okay, wait, we have a question. I tell you, you're lucky that I like you, Cassie. Yeah, I appreciate you being here. She said, what was my favorite food? Okay, so Inside Party for the Census, which was like the private event that I was saying that, it's an additional ticket. Jennifer Hill Booker made these like pork sliders with coleslaw amazing. Like, I swear to you, her little area was right near my table. I probably ate about 10 of those sandwiches. I know, don't judge me. I ate about 10 of those sandwiches. And then I also had this vegan, like hummus and avocado from a place here in Philadelphia. Amazing. But outside, my favorite is the jerk chicken. It's always been the jerk chicken. Every time I go, I always go to that booth and I get more jerk chicken than I need to get. But this time, because they had something new, they had called Sighting Sips. Did I say The Simpsons? No, not The Simpsons. Oh, I don't know why you think I said The Simpsons. I have no idea. But this year I was able to partake in something called, I want it to be called Sighting Sips. I know it's called Sips. And basically they had a Moscato flight. So if you guys are planning to go, remember, you have 87 days. I believe it's in November. I'm going to tell you the actual date here. November the... let me see. What is the actual last day here? I should know this. And that's how I just wrote this up. November 19th, I believe it is. I believe it's November 19th. You guys want to try these Moscato flights. 3 different flavors. Great taste on the palate. And then they have apple cider. You can get an adult version or kid version. Totally go try it out. There's some other new things that you guys want to try out. And I'll make sure that I bring that information to you as well. As I stated, the culinary demonstrations are only available to November 16th. So if you're thinking about going and you want to partake in some of them, you have until November 16th. But I encourage you to get on the website right now because, like I said, while we were there, things were selling out. So we were lucky that we were able to even get into Party for the Senses because literally it was sold out. And also the demonstration that we did with Jennifer Hill Booker the next day, because literally as we're coming out, you can see they're putting things on there that said, so sorry, sold out. So much of it was sold out. But it's worth it. Might be a little pricey, but I totally think you should attend. Oh, and before I close, the one thing also I want to share with you guys is this press trip was really, really, really fun and very different for me in that it was the first time I've ever been on a trip where everyone on the trip was African American. So we were all represented our community, which was great. Oh, she said party of what? Cassia, it's called the Party for the Senses. See, you didn't even know about it either. It is one of the side events that happens with Food and Wine. So apparently there are a lot of side events. And as I stated earlier, I was asking them while we were in there, I was like, I'm looking around the room and there is a lack of diversity clearly in this room, other than like, the people that work there and a few of the chefs and us. And I was just trying to figure out, is it because people just don't know about it? And like I said, I've attended this event a few times and I realized that I just know it's happening, but I don't think I've ever really gone to the website to understand what was actually happening outside of just going to the booths. So apparently there are a lot of events that are happening. If you don't want to just be in General Epcot, which, of course I think is great, but there's some people who don't want to be in General Epcot. They feel like they don't like the crowds, or maybe they want to have something special to do with their family. Like think a girls trip. So for me, I would totally want to go back with my girlfriends or my spouse or maybe a couple's trip. And we do Party for the Senses. We book a culinary demonstration. Maybe we go to the book signings or the bottle signings where they literally are signing a bottle of your wine. So yeah, I think it's a great experience, and I feel like it's a different experience than what people are used to at Disney. So I totally encourage it. But the other thing, as I stated, that I wanted to remind everybody is while I was there and I talked you guys up in the show and kind of what we were doing and kind of the reason behind it, and it all tied into the fact that, like I said, every other influencer on this trip was African American. They're listening, guys. Disney is listening. They realize that we make a difference and we want to be heard. They're listening. So the one thing I told them is I need to see more of Princess Tiana. We need her doing more things, other things, and we need to know about it. And they were listening and they were like, oh, okay. So I encourage you, if there's something that you want to see more of, especially as it pertains to our community, let them know. You can even let us know here, because I told them, I was like, well, I'm going to be sending y'all information. I don't know if you're going to want all of it, but I'm going to send it to you. And they were like, send it. So I'm excited that I have kind of met up with who I feel are the right people to kind of get our message across. So don't forget, share, 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 share. With that, it is 9:30, guys. Thank you so much for joining in. I will see you on next Monday. Same time, same place. And don't forget, check out the blog, Life and Pumps, where you'll get information on Food and Wine. And in addition, there'll be another post coming out tomorrow where you'll be able to win the digital download for Lion King. So have a great night, and I will see you all next week. Bye.